All right. Welcome, everyone. Excited to have Michael Marsack on the show today. Michael is the founder of Martech Studio, a fast-moving AI-driven software studio, helping founders go from idea to product in days, not weeks, by combining no-code tools, automation, and now AI narrative development. He worked with startups that have raised millions and is currently building alongside a stealth mode open cloud competitor. Welcome, Michael. Welcome to the show.
Nice to be here.
All right. So, Michael, can you tell me about your journey to founding Martech Studios? What problems or gap in the software industry inspire you to start this company? And how does that tie into your passion for AI and no-code development?
Yeah, I wish I could say it was that altruistic and that I was doing it for the industry. But it was more so for me. When I had graduated from college, I ended up working at a startup as the first hire. We ended up raising a couple $1 million. But yeah, while I was there, I had a bunch of ideas. I was a little younger, still have a bunch of ideas, but a little bit more hopeful to put some of them out into the world. I was obviously working at a startup. I wanted to build my own at some point, but I didn't really have the skills. So I was reaching out to fellow alumni from Duke University and friends of mine who were computer scientists. And it's very hard to get a 24-year-old who codes for a living to code additionally after their 9 to 5. So I ended up learning more about Bubble and no-code tools just through doing research on how could I become self-sufficient, right? And through that process, I ended up learning about Bubble. And then at a certain point, I said, I don't know what I want to do yet. But I know I want to do my own thing. So why don't I just, once I got good enough at it, why don't I just provide this as a service to people I know and people I'll meet? And then we'll see where that can take me from there. Maybe I'll meet a cool co-founder. Maybe I'll meet someone who has a great idea that I want to be a part of with these new skills. But regardless, let's go do something different because I wasn't in love with some of the people I was servicing at that point at the company I was at that point. So I thought, why not do something that's mine, completely mine, win or lose, it's on me, which I kind of like that. I grew up playing sports. So having that energy going into business was normal for me. So I wish I could say it was some big industry trend that caused me to move into the no-code space. It was more of a personal change and personal wants and interests. But I will say, when I did learn about Bubble, it was still fairly new, not like brand new, but it really hadn't gained the critical mass that it has now in that ecosystem where there's like hundreds of tools. So I saw it as an opportunity, like, oh, not many people know about this yet. It's an easier way to develop software. Why not get involved? Why not learn the skill? This is obviously the future of these skills, right? So why not learn about it, right? That was kind of what brought me into the agency development space.
Oh, nice. Michael, you mentioned in our preparatory call that you started out in the medical field and pivoted into tech through a startup where you were the first hire. How did that early experience shape your approach to building Martech Studios?
Yeah, I think in general, one true thing about the medical field is there's a lot of rote memorization. You have to memorize a lot of phrases, chemical setups, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of memorization in that pathway for your degree, right? And I think that has helped me a lot in the technical world, simply because with where everything's at right now, with AI moving a mile a minute, in general, being able to memorize things, what they do, how they can coincide with other pieces of technology, how pieces of technology kind of overlap, that's really important. So I'd say that's probably the biggest takeaway, as well as just work ethic. Like, it wasn't easy doing pre-med work and pre-med classes. So yeah, just work ethic as well as like rote memorization. But other than that, they are quite different.
And your company tagline mentions building products in days, not weeks, using AI and no-code tools. How do you combine AI integration and no-code platform to speed up software development? I mean, maybe you can share an example of how this approach has benefited the client.
Yeah, I think honestly, I need to be honest, and this might be the shocker to the question. I think I need to rewrite that, because I think, yes, we still in some formats will use no-code tools, but it's typically not. It's never anymore because of a choice, like a strategic choice. It's typically due to a integrations limitation. So for instance, there's a tool called Opus Clips. They help take long form videos and clip them into short form videos, right? A tool like that does not have immediate API access for people. You have to go through their enterprise program. You have to kind of like kiss the bureaucratic boots of their team a little bit. Great tool, wanted to use the tool, but they have on the basic plan, the $20 a month plan or whatever it is, they have instant access to their API via Zapier, right?
Mhm.
That's an example of using like a no-code tool with AI coding to get an outcome would be working with Zapier and Lovable or Cursor to get that functionality in our app without having to jump through all those bureaucratic hoops. But in general, I need to change that because at this point, there's no real reason to use no-code tools as much anymore. I think at this point, AI coding has reached a level where I would 9 times out of 10 recommend people to just use that completely. Again, there are some instances of no code tools. It depends on if you call Supabase a no code tool. But yeah, in general, yes, we still use some no code tools, but it's typically as a fallback, not as like a first preference.
Nice, nice. And many of our listeners are founders looking to incorporate AI into their software products. From your experience working with startups, what are the biggest challenges or misconceptions companies face when trying to integrate AI technologies into their software operations?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in general, people are looking for new ways to use AI. I think the best thing to do is what do you already do and how can we apply AI technology to it, right? So, for instance, a friend of mine owns an Airbnb. I was showing him Lovable last night. It would be really cool for him if when he managed his Airbnb, he could have like one gateway that manage it across all the different platforms, Verbo, Booking.com. So there's a tool that does that, right? Now, why can't we sync that tool up to WhatsApp? And then like maybe an LLM, right? So we sync it up with like Gemini, WhatsApp, and then this tool that helps manage the bookings. Now you sync like something he was doing before already manually. He was going into this tool, messaging people, right? Or like, sorry, going to the tool, accepting people to stay at his place, scheduling things. Then he was going and he's messaging them in WhatsApp and having to respond to their issues. If they have an issue, he has to message his maintenance guy or his cleaning person, right? Like he has to message those people, right? What if we just take that whole concept like and reformat it underneath an LLM, right? An LLM is really just a brain now. It's like this contextual brain that knows how to speak how we do, right? So
Mhm.
we take all those functions that you would do, like send a message, come up with message. What is the problem? Is it a problem or is it them just saying, hey, I need to check out a little later than 11 a.m., right? Whatever the issue is, why can't we take that information and automate it with AI in a way that either feels organic because he can add in some, hey, this is how I talk, this is how I communicate, here's some past messages I sent. So that's a great example. I think everyone sees how fast AI is moving and they're always so scared of like, oh, I got to use the newest thing. Oh, I got to use the newest thing. Nope. You just got to pick what is good enough now. Take a problem you already have and how do I like stack together or layer together these different tools in order to kind of get rid of this problem, right? Or at least automate it 80% of the time. I think that's the biggest thing we're going to see back from AI is, especially with this company I'm joining that you mentioned is similar to OpenClaw, like we're going to see millions of people get back time on their taxes, on managing their schedules, on not forgetting things, on responding to emails, responding to texts, right? Like all of these things that business wise or personal wise or filling out forms, like all of these things that you once would maybe take you 5, 10, 20, 30 an hour, right? They're going to get erased in the next decade. They're going to be gone. They're going to be voice prompts, right? Or text prompts. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I think overall people misconceive AI as this whole new thing when in reality it's similar to old technology. You just need to find the right use cases for it that you're already performing manually.
So yeah, going in that line, you also mentioned that clients are becoming more capable with AI tools when given the right prompts. How are you thinking about client enablement and the role of AI in democratizing software development?
Yeah, this is a great question. I actually think the software development space is going to see a massive hit in the over the coming years, right? So my logic is this, right? So AI makes a developer 5 times capable. So now a developer that could at one point build one app can now build 5 or 5 times the output in the same amount of time, same amount of effort. So you have 5 times the ability or the output. That does not mean that the market is going to increase its demand by 5x, right? So
Mm,
Now we see the market stays as its steady 1.5, 2%, or like, so what is it? Like 1.5, yeah, whatever. It's going to grow by whatever it's normally growing at. But now the capabilities every 6 months for one developer are going up incredibly. Like they're going up a lot every 6 months, right? Oh, what that shows me is big companies, they're going to end up laying a lot of people off. Big companies are going to end up laying a lot of their junior developers. You're not going to really see junior developer roles anymore. It's going to be tough for students. Your science degree is going to take a hit. That industry as a whole is going to take a hit. But I also don't necessarily think developers right away. Like if we think about the people who are developers, myself included, honestly, I don't want to go outside and lay bricks. That there's no disrespect to that job. I respect that job a lot. I am not tough enough to go do it. I think it would be a hard job, not something I necessarily want to do. I don't think these other developers are going to want to do it too. So I think what we're going to see is we're going to see a lot of the runoff developers from these bigger companies who have been laid off. And I have some friends who are at director levels who, once they started using Cloud Code, they fired their 2 most junior developers the next day.
Wow.
But yeah, we're going to see a lot of these people slide off into the agency space, into the freelance space, excuse me. And they're going to now become like my competition, realistically. Like all these developers, they're going to become competition. So now there's going to be this even bigger influx of not only can a developer produce 5x, now there's going to be 3 more developers competing for the same job, right?
Mm-hmm.
That will eventually correct when people realize, hey, I'm not any good at this freelance thing. I'm not any good at this agency thing. I'm not good at the selling part. That's where I struggle with, because obviously engineers typically tend to be a little bit less social than, say, like the marketing team, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of how I think AI development is going to impact the space, there's a new developing space, but which will be like basically the mechanic shops of the AI age, like people who self-code things, but then they get stuck. So it's not people doing full projects for folks. It's people coming in to fix the projects that individuals have started on their own. We're going to see a big influx of these like mechanic shops. But overall, we're going to see the market take a huge hit for a little bit, I believe, with all these competitors coming from big companies and more people who like are non-traditional coders, such as myself, honestly, gaining the ability to build on full-fledged applications for people. So we're going to see new people acquire these skills in the same way they did like me with the no-code skills. So in general, we're going to see a big influx of talent into the space, and then it'll slowly correct after people realize, hey, there's not any money in this anymore. But in general, also just project sizes, right? Like if you look at what my website says, right, build apps in days, not weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, some people do outcome-based charging, but in general, if something takes you less time and less effort, typically it's cheaper, right?
Mm-hmm.
In general, we're going to see less money in the space, more do-it-yourself, more like small jobs, right? So we're going to see this big influx of developers into the space, and then we're going to see a big exodus of people in the space because they're like, wow, there's not as much money as there was at Google, right? AI is going to absolutely level the service side of things. I think what I have tried to do and what I've been working on the side is like marketing technology. I think the only way to survive as an agency, yes, you need to be technical and be able to do these things. But more importantly, you need to be able to make people money. If you can make people money on the service side of things, on the agency side of things, if every dollar that you turn into 3, they're going to give you those $3 to give them 9, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I've been trying to shield myself for these changes, obviously, as well as going and joining this company has been a big blessing for me, and I'm super excited about that. But in general, let's say that opportunity didn't come up and I wasn't going to go be working with them. That's what I'm focused on, is how do I use our technological abilities to build the best marketing technology possible to help people make money? Because if you can, that's the future, right? If everybody can build the same thing, the only 2 things that matter are distribution and taste, right? Preference, right? I already think I have a good taste or preference for development. So then the most obvious thing to go for next is how do I help people distribute their products as well? That would be what would set us apart, right?
Right. And looking ahead to Q3, what signals will you be watching to know you are on track? Whether it's for your agency or the new AI product you're helping launch, what
Yeah.
will it be?
So for the AI products we're launching, I would say by Q3, I would definitely like to be above 1,000 users, maybe even closer to 10,000. I do believe what we're building in terms of like everyone's seen it with OpenClaw. It's obviously gone gangbusters. everybody is really excited by the concept of AI that can do things for you, right? Like actually do things for you. So in terms of that business and that passion, that excitement, I'm super excited to build out a bunch of really cool features, build a system that honestly fixes itself, which is something really cool that I'll probably make a post on at some point.
Mm.
But yeah, in general, like up 1 to 10,000 users and gearing up to do some press releases on why 10,000 people are using it.
Mm-hmm.
In
Mm-hmm.
terms of the agency, I'll be winding the agency down as I join this company. I'll still be referring folks in my network to developers in my network I trust, and maybe helping out on small little things here and there, like little hour long, 2 hour long consultations, but nothing like the agency's going to wind down a lot.
I noticed you were a Division One athlete at Duke and even mentioned applying a competitive edge to staying ahead of tech trends. How has your background influenced your approach as an entrepreneur and tech leader, especially in a fast moving field like AI?
Yeah, I would say something that sets me apart is pace. I'm very impatient. And I'm also good at applying that pressure to get things done with a team. So I hold myself to a really high degree as well. Like obviously you don't get to D1 athletics without trying hard. And I've been not coining, but like really emphasizing the word earnestness this past year. I think good athletes are really earnest about their sport. They really genuinely want to get better. They want to get better. They're willing to work hard to get better. And I think that energy and that emphasis on a desire to get better and always do better and do good by people, et cetera, that has probably been the um, biggest add-on from sports is I'm competitive. I don't like to lose. I don't like when things don't work. And I'm willing to like be upset for a while and bang my head against the wall until it does. And
Nice.
clients appreciate that, right? Clients want to be with someone, work with someone who wants to win because that's what they're trying to do. Trying to, whatever their win looks like, that's what they want to do is they want to get their first 100 users. They want to make an app that can do X, right? So
Mm-hmm.
as long as everyone's on the same team trying to get that win, that athletic side of things helps keep the pace and push things along. And as well as like it makes you like when you play sports, you don't always win. Like that's just a part of it, right? Like your biggest learnings in sports are when you lose. So, for instance, to me, a year ago from now, or a year before, a year earlier. Apologize.
Mm-hmm.
I was very upset that I had spent 2 plus years, 3 plus years getting really good at bubble. I was upset that I had become one of the best in the world at something and now it's irrelevant, kind of. Um, but that's what it takes is it takes that self-reflection. It takes that being upset that I didn't win that competition. Like it takes that in order to force us to change and go make a difference in our life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just being willing, like I'm okay with losing. I'm not okay with being bad. I'm okay with something not working out, but I'm not okay with just like just staying there. If I lost, there's a reason I lost, and I'm going to figure out why I lost and go win next time.
Finally, you talk about bringing AI to the soccer mom, to the gym bra, rather to the college student. What's your vision for how AI agents will become part of everyday life?
Yeah, so we are starting to let people in on an invite basis to the app. Hopefully, by the time this launches, we should be letting more and more people in, letting about 10 people a day.
Mhm.
But the reality is soon, all of your apps and things you use in your day to day will be connected, right? So imagine your calendar, imagine whatever you use for your doctor, right? Whatever you use for your car insurance, whatever you use for your health insurance, like all these different parts of your life. We'll go to the student example, right? I'm a student. I have a place where I upload my assignments. I have a place where I like look up. I want to like keep notes for this class, right? I have like all these things. I have a place where I want to schedule things with my friends or for the nonprofit I'm a part of, or whatever you're doing in college. There's a schedule for it. There's a tool for it. There's all these things. The goal is to give you one verbal or written interface where you can call it, text it, wherever you chat with other people, you can also chat with an AI. And as you chat with that AI, not only can it respond and give you like that chat GPT experience that everyone's used to, but it can also actually just take actions on your behalf. Hey, I got this email from my professor saying he's not going to be available for office hours. Cool. My AI calls and tells me this 30 minutes before the office hours, so I don't go and show up and waste my time, right? And things like that. Or you can respond to the email, or, hey, I need to book some one-on-one time with some people in my class. Can you schedule us? Can you look at each of our calendars and schedule a time that makes sense, right? Things like that. Not only will it be at the individual level too, like something we're talking about is if you look at every app ecosystem that's ever existed, from like video game systems to the iPhone to Facebook, right? All these marketplace, all these kind of like ecosystems, right? Big thing, they connection, right? So I think that's what we're going to see is it's not just going to be the home CEO, mom. It's not just going to be the student. It's not just going to be the business person. It's going to be the mom who's also a business person who has kids who are students, and all of their information and capabilities will be kind of work together, right? So you can kind of not only use AI in your day-to-day life, but use AI to connect with other people and do like group tasks together. So it's going to impact every part of our day-to-day life. I think retirees is a great example. Folks who need to remember to take their medicine, folks who might have Alzheimer's, right? Might be forgetting things about their day-to-day or about their life as a whole, right? In general, though, we're still working out what is the best way to add all that connectivity. Is it through browser automation? Is it through direct integration? But no matter what, that is the future, a future where you talk to a machine and it actually does things for you. And in the final form of the future, you have a little Jefferson's robot in your house, and you can talk to it and it does something for you, right?
All right.
But that's on its way.
Well, thank you, Michael, for everything. That was really incredible, insightful, and I appreciate your openness and example. So again, thank you for being on this podcast. I know you want to mention any last comments or any last message for the audience.
Yeah, just be on the lookout for Hello Haven AI. It's gonna change the game, I'm pretty sure. So looking forward to having you all try it. Appreciate your time.
No, thank you, Mike.